Week number 4, we are going to be talking about something that impacts every area of our lives: efficiency and time management. Time is one of God's greatest gifts, and how we use our time, it reflects our priorities and our values. So how are you stewarding your gift of time? And as you continue to create your rich life, a life of abundance in all areas, it's important to consider what culture is pulling you to and what God says is right. So today I'm going to go over a few points on time. So number 1, the purpose of time. Time is not infinite. We often hear the phrase, there's not enough time in a day, but the truth is God has given us all the time we need to fulfill His purpose. Recognize that our time on earth is limited and live with intentionality. Scripture does say, it talks about to be mindful of how fleeting life is and to make every moment count. This awareness, it helps us to prioritize what truly matters, living for God's purpose, loving others, growing in our faith, focus on eternal things rather than temporary distractions, and to live with gratitude and purpose. Okay, so number 2, the problem with busyness. We live in a culture that equates busyness with productivity, but they are not the same. Busyness can distract us from what matters most: our faith, family, our calling. And have you ever found yourself saying yes to everything and then only to realize you're stretched too thin? That's not God's design. Being efficient doesn't mean doing more. It means doing what matters. And my goal over the last few years has been to create a life with more time in my day, so that if a friend calls me in need, that I might be available. And when my daughter comes home from school, I can be intentional with our time and not be on my phone working and multitasking. We are so bombarded these days because of access to online resources and events, and it can be great, but they can also be a huge distraction and a time suck that leads to unnecessary busyness that is not honoring God. Okay, number 3, the power of planning. Efficiency starts with planning. Each day, take a moment to ask God, what do you want me to focus on today? So here's my morning routine. Usually about 5 days a week, I wake up and I have my Bible time. I journal my prayers and gratitude, along with scheduling out my day. A daily schedule helps to determine what is most important to accomplish every day. And I use this planner, and I could share it with you on our next coaching call. If you want to be a high achiever, and you have to plan your days. It won't be perfect. Trust me, my days aren't always perfect, but I have a plan. And without a plan, you're gonna end up floundering and you're gonna miss opportunities to accomplish your goals. Okay, so the next thing is number 4, the practice of saying no. Efficiency requires boundaries. Not every opportunity is a God opportunity. So learn to say no to distractions so you can say yes to what truly matters. If you have a tendency to overcommit, you may want to use a phrase this kind of phrase next time you are invited somewhere. Something like, thank you so much. That sounds amazing, but can I get back to you to confirm? This way it gives you time to sit with your calendar and see if you have the capacity for it. And you'll also decide if this is your best yes. You don't want to have to cancel at the last minute and not be a person of their word. It's never a good thing. And of course, situations come up, but in general, you want to know your capacity and say yes to what matters. Number 5, the promise of progress. We often get overwhelmed by trying to do everything perfectly, but God doesn't expect perfection. He wants us to be faithful, and efficiency isn't about speed. It's about the steady progress, small consistent steps, and it adds up over time. If you want to have a goal of working out 5 to 6 times a week, but you haven't worked out at all, you may want to time block a smaller amounts of days to do that. Maybe a few days or a couple minutes, maybe 10 minutes a day. Or if you're trying to wake up early and every morning you're hitting the alarm button and not waking up, you're gonna feel like a failure because you're not fulfilling your goals. Why don't you just set your alarm clock 10 minutes early and then build up to maybe 15 minutes. Okay, the last thing is a call to action. So I want you to reevaluate your time. Does it reflect your faith, your values, and your calling? If not, it's time to make a change. Simplify, prioritize, and let's multiply your efforts. Remember, efficiency is not about controlling time. It's about surrendering it to the one who actually created it. When we manage our time wisely, we glorify God. And we open up opportunities for new relationships and making eternal impact. And let's be faithful stewards of this precious gift so we can hear the words we all long for one day. Well done, good and faithful servant.